Hello guys. In today's video, we'll cover up the definitions, uniqueness of bricks, characteristics of bricks, qualities of good brick, classification of brick, advantage of brick, manufacturing of brick, type of brickwork, joints in brick masonry, tools used in brick masonry, rules for good brick construction, test of brick, and defects of brick. So let's start. Now, what is brick masonry? So, to understand brick masonry, first we have to understand what brick is. Brick is a building unit which is in the form of rectangular block in which length to breadth ratio is 1:2, but height can be different. Masonry, construction of building unit bonded together with mortar. Now, brick masonry, the art of laying brick in mortar in a proper systematic manner gives homogeneous mass which can withstand forces without disintegration is called brick masonry. Now, what is the uniqueness of brick masonry? The bricks are fire resistant, they come in various sizes, they are durable, their workability and economical as well. Now the characteristic of bricks. The brick will not burn, buckle or melt. The brick will not rot and allow termite to invade inside. Brick will not rust and corrode. Brick will not dent. Brick will not fade from sun UV rays as other materials can. Brick will not be damaged by high wind, rain or hail. Brick will not require constant maintenance. Brick will not devalue. Brick will not limit your personal expression. Brick will not limit your design options. Now, what are the qualities of good brick? Brick should be uniform in shape and standard in size. Brick should give a clear metallic ringing sound when struck with each other. Brick should show a bright, homogeneous and free from voids. Brick should be well burnt and possess sharp edges. Color of the brick should be uniform and bright. Brick should be sufficiently hard and no impression should be left on brick surface when it's scratched with fingernails on top of it. Brick should have crushing strength above at least 5.5 Newton per meter square. Brick should not break when it dropped from a height of about 1 meter approximately. Brick should not absorb water more than 20% by weight when soaked in cold water by 24 hours. A normal brick is approximately 4.5 kg approximately. Brick should not show any deposit of white salt when allowed to dry in shade. Now the classification of bricks. There are 4 types of bricks: the first class, the second class, the third class and the fourth class bricks. The first class bricks. These bricks are table molded. Surface and edges are sharp, square, smooth and straight. These are well burnt and have uniform texture, metallic ringing when struck against each other. These bricks are used for superior work. Now the second class brick. These bricks are ground molded bricks, so the edges can be a bit shabby. Surfaces are rough. The quality of these bricks are inferior. Now the third class bricks. The surface and edges are rough. Do not create any metallic sound. These bricks are used for temporary and unimportant structures. Now the fourth class bricks. These are the bricks which are overburnt. These are of irregular shape and dark color. These can be used in floor, foundation and roads, but they can't be used for the superstructure. Now the advantages of brick masonry. The brick masonry is cheaper than compared to stone masonry. Bricks are of uniform size. Brick blocks are easy to work and don't need any dressing. Bricks are very light in weight. No complicated lifting devices are necessary in brickwork. There is no problem to its availability as they are available everywhere. They do not require transportation from long distance. Brickwork can be done by the less skilled labor also. Bonding strength is very good and brickwork is more durable. Now the manufacturing of brick. The manufacturing of the brick can be of two types. First, it can be made of fly ash, lime, sand and gypsum. It can be also made of fly ash, cement and sand. If the brick is made of fly ash, lime, sand and gypsum, the proportion should be fly ash 60 to 80%, lime should be 10 to 20%, sand should be 10% and gypsum should be 10%. And if the brick is made of fly ash, cement and sand, the proportion should be fly ash 60 to 80%, cement 8 to 10% and sand 20 to 25%. Now the type of brick masonry. There are two types of brick masonry. What can be used in mud or it can be used with cement as in mortar. If the brick work is done in mud, the mud is used to fill up the joints. The thickness of the mortar, which is made of mud, the joint is 12 mm. This is the cheapest way of brick masonry. The maximum height of the wall is 4 meters only. It cannot go beyond, otherwise there is a chances of the wall can fall down. Brickwork in cement. Brickwork in cement are of three types: the first class, the second class and the third class. When the brickwork is done first class bricks, the cement of lime mortar is used. The surface and edges of bricks are sharp. The thickness of mortar joint doesn't exceed 10 mm. In the second class, the ground molded bricks are used. Bricks are rough and shape is slightly irregular. The thickness of mortar joint is 12 mm. And in the third class, bricks are not hard, rough surface and distorted shape. Used for temporary structures only. They are used in place where rainfall is not heavy. Now the masonry joints. As you can see in the image over here, there are n numbers of joints shown over there: the weathered, the struck, the ragged, the concave, the V, the flushed and the extruded. First, the weathered joint. Mortar joint has a sloped downward edge. The concave joint. Joint concave inwards. V joint. The mortar joint is the form of V. Flush joint. Mortar joint is flush with the brick surface. Ragged joint. A large portion of the mortar joint is ragged out, not a safe impermeable joint. Strip joint. A medium large portion of the mortar joint is a safe permeable joint. Struck joint. Mortar joint had a slope upward edge. You can see these joints over there. I have shown it. Some are upward edges, some is ragged inside, some are concave. This is V kind of, this is flushed and this is extruded outside. Now the tools which are used in brick masonry. Now you can see the first one is the trowel. There are 3-4 kind of trowels which are used in the brick masonry: the brick trowel, the margin trowel, the gouging trowel or the angle trowel. Now there are floats, the wooden float, the metal floats. They are used for the leveling. Now we have plumb bob. This is used to check the verticality of the brickwork. Now this is right angle scale. This is also called as gunia in local language. This is used to check whether the floor and the brickwork is straight. Then there is line dory, which is used to hang the plumb bob. Then we have aluminium channel to do the plaster. Then we have measuring tape for the measuring of the brickwork, that what is the height and what length we have done. Then we have steel tape for the leveling of water, the flow, that what it's on the same floor or they are slightly downward or upward. Now the rules for good brick bonding. The brick shall be of uniform in size. The brick arranged uniformly throughout the wall. Bats are to be used as little as possible, but when there is a case of the English bond or the Flemish bond or the header bond, these bats or the closures are used as necessary. The brick in the interior of wall laid as header, that is across the wall. Vertical joints shall be avoided. The vertical joints in every alternate course should be vertical over one another. They should not differ. The tests for brick. First is the absorption. The brick should not absorb water more than 20% of dry weight. The crushing strength. As per BIF 1077 and 1957, the minimum crushing strength of a brick is 3.5 Newton per meter square. Hardness. Brick is treated to be sufficient hard if no impression could be made on the surface of the brick by fingernail. The soundness. Two bricks when struck with each other should emit metallic ringing sound. The structure. It should be homogeneous, compact and free from any defects. Shape and size. Standard size 790 by 90 by 90 mm, and shape should be truly rectangular, very sharp edges and smooth surface. In India, it is generally 230 by 115 by 75 mm. Now, defects in brick masonry. The sulfate attack. Sulfate salt present in brickwork react with alumina content of cement. It occurs in boundary wall. Crystallization of salt from brick. It occurs in brick masonry made out of brick which contains excessive soluble salt. This phenomenon is also known as efflorescence. Corrosion of embedded iron or steel. Iron or steel embedded in brickwork get corroded in the presence of dampness or corrosion of metal expand in volume and tends to crack the brickwork. Now, I think we have almost covered the characteristics and the nomenclature and the uses of brick, how it is used, where it is used. Normally, if you talk about the defects, if you want to check whether the brick is good or not, do one thing: take a brick, soak it with water for some time. If there are some white patches or the black patches, dots on the brick, you will get to know that there is sulfate attack or there are salts on the brick. Now we have covered the nomenclature and the bricks and the other topics, the classification and the characteristics of the bricks. In the next video, we will cover up the brick bonds. So be with us. Thank you.